When we think of Power BI, we immediately think of the platform's visuals and reports. While the front-end report visuals are important and visible to end users, a lot happens behind the scenes that significantly impacts the final product, including data modeling. So, before we begin, like, share, and subscribe. Remember to hit the bell icon to stay updated on the latest tech content from Edureka's YouTube channel. Also check out Edureka's Microsoft Power BI certification training by PwC Academy. The link to the website is in the description box below. Now let's take a look at the agenda for today's video. First we have is, why does data modeling matter in Power BI? Then we will see what is data modeling actually. Next, moving on to, we will learn the benefits of data modeling, relationship fundamentals concepts. We will also see what is cardinality, then cross-filter direction. Lastly, we will see how data modeling works. Have you all ever imagined why does data modeling matter in Power BI? Firstly, it supports data exploration, where data modeling allows users to create hierarchies and drill down paths for more efficient data exploration. Users can quickly navigate through data to find insights and trends. Then the affects performance. The speed and efficiency with which data is retrieved is directly related to how a data model is designed. Poorly designed data models, such as those with complex relationships and data redundancies, can result in slow query performance, causing delays in report rendering. Next is promotes more accurate reports. When a data model is properly designed, it ensures that the data used in reports is accurate, consistent, and reliable. This in turn can lead to more accurate insights and better decision making. The last we have is the easier future maintenance. A well-designed data model ensures that reports are scalable, lowering the effort required to maintain reports as the company grows and evolves. Creating reusable components, improving documentation, and standardizing data can all help to make reports easier to maintain and update over time. Now let's take a look at what is data modeling. In essence, data modeling is a process of defining the structure, properties, and relationships of a data model. A data model in Power BI is a logical representation of how data is organized and linked within the tool. It is a collection of tables and the relationships that are used to generate reports and visualizations. A data model typically consists of one or more data sources, which can range from Excel spreadsheets to cloud-based databases, as well as one or more tables containing the data from those sources. The relationships between these tables are the foundation of data modeling. Now, we will see the benefits of data modeling. Modeling your data allows you to document the types of data you have, how you use it, and the data management requirement for its use, protection, and governance. The advantages of data modeling are developing a framework for collaboration between your IT and business teams. By defining data needs and uses, we can identify opportunities to improve business processes, saving time and money on IT and process investments with proper planning. Then, reducing errors and improving data integrity. Next, planning for capacity and growth helps to improve the speed and performance of data retrieval and analytics. Lastly, setting and tracking target key performance indicators that are specific to your business objectives. Moving on to the relationship fundamental concepts. First we have the primary and alternative keys. Primary and alternative keys create a relationship between two tables that share a column. Primary and alternative keys are the table columns that define a relationship between two tables. Now let me explain you in detail what is primary key. A primary key is also known as a surrogate key, is a column or group of columns in a table whose values uniquely identify each row. The primary key's distinct count is equal to the number of rows in the table. Next is the alternative key. An alternative key is also known as a foreign key. It is a column in one table whose values match those in another table's primary key, as shown in the screenshot. Next, let me tell you what is a cardinality. Our fact and dimension tables are linked through the primary and alternative keys, but we need to define the relationship further. Each relationship in a model is identified by its cardinality type. It describes the relationship between the number of unique values in one table and the number of unique values in another. In Power BI data modeling, cardinality relationships are classified into three types. First we have is one-on-one. This happens when one record in the first table is related to exactly one record in the second table. This type of relationship is relatively uncommon in Power BI data modeling, as shown in the image. Next we have is one-to-many. This happens when one record in the first table can be linked to multiple records in the second table. And it is the most common type of relationship in Power BI data modeling. This cardinality type connects a fact table to one or more dimension tables, with the dimension table typically on the one side of the relationship and the fact table on the many side, which is again shown in the picture. The last we have is many-to-many. This happens when many records from the first table can be linked to the many records from the second table. This relationship type is not natively supported in Power BI data modeling and is rarely used, which is shown in the picture now. Now let me tell you what is cross-filter direction. Each relationship in a model is also assigned a cross-filter direction, which specifies the direction in which filters will propagate. The cross-filter direction can be either single, also known as single direction, or both, also known as both directions or bidirectional. In that we have the first is single. When a single directional cross-filter is used, only one of the tables in the relationship can filter data to the another. This means that filtering data in one table influences the data shown in the another table. By filtering in the other side has no effect on the data shown in the first table. The next we have is the bidirectional. When a bidirectional cross-filter is used, data can be filtered in either direction along the relationship between the tables. This means that filtering data in the one table affects the data displayed in the other and vice versa. This type is less common and can also have a negative impact on performance while also creating ambiguous filter paths. These are the things that you have to mainly know if you want to learn the data modeling. Now let's see how data modeling works in Power BI. As you can see, we have come to the home page of the Power BI desktop. Now let me show you how to extract the data. For that, go to Get Data. As you can see, under Get Data, we have common data sources such as Excel workbook, data flows, Dataverse, and so on. So I will be selecting text and CSV as my file contains text and CSV format. So now let me select the file that is needed and open it. So now click on Load to load the data. Now to check whether data is loaded or no, towards the right hand side you can see Data. Under Data we have the file that we have extracted. Similarly, I have extracted all the other 4 files, that is Channel, Geography, Product, Sales, and Stores. So if you have a doubt what is the type of the file that we have loaded, in Power BI all the files are queries and we do not specify it as a text or CSV file. Now towards the left hand side we have Table View. When you click on Table View, we have our files that is loaded here. So when you click on each file, we have its columns and the values that is existing. Similarly, under Table View, we have the Model View. So when you click on Model View, here you can see that there are relationships between each file. Now let me show you how data modeling works. So here the relationship is already created because the column of one file is present in the column of the another file. Now for example, let me show you one. Here, under the file of stores, the column name store key is present. Similarly, under the file of sales, you can see the sales key is also present. This is how the relationship is created. But you can see in the channel file, there is no relationship created. So I will teach you how to create a relationship using data modeling. This relationship is automatically created when the column name of the first file is present in the another file. As you can see, channel file does not consist of any relationship. That is because it does not have any common columns. So now to create a relationship, I will be dragging the channel key from the sales file to the channel file. So here you can see that the channel key and the channel have been highlighted because we have created the relationship between them. Now if you see in the cardinality, this talks about the nature of the relationship. So when you click on the cardinality, here you can see we have many-to-one, one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. Here I have got it many-to-one is because that is my nature of the relationship. So here you can see in the cross-filter direction, we have single and both. So I will be keeping it as single itself. Now we will click on Save. So now you can see that the relationship between these two files have been created. This is how the data modeling works. Here you can see we have a lot of options. So one of the options that we want to see is manage relationships. So when you click on that, so here you can see the nature of relationships, from which column to which column it is connected in the file, and also the status. And the nature of my relationship is many to one, and even the status is active. So here you can see we have another option is the auto detect. It will automatically map the tables. So here we have another option as well, that is new relationship, which allows you to create relationship between two tables or two columns as well. So here towards the right hand side under data, we have an option called model. So when you click on that, here you can see that the relationships that we have created from each file. Now I will teach you how to create the graph. For that, go to report view, choose a chart that is matrix. So to add the values, we have rows, columns and values. For rows, let me drag and drop the product key. And for columns, I'll be dragging and dropping the status. And similarly for values, let me drag and drop the total cost. So now you can see here a graph is created. Now let me show you another example. For that, go to model view. For this example, we'll be using 4 tables, that is sales, product, geography and stores. So let's destroy the relationship for channel now. So keep the cursor to the single directional cross filter, right click on it. Here you can see the delete option, click on delete option and click on S. So here you can see that the relationship is destroyed. Now go to report view. Let's create another chart. Now let's create the chart for this example. Under visualization, I'll be choosing the clustered bar chart. Let's align it. Let's add the values for it. So for the y-axis, I'll be dragging and dropping the product name. And for the x-axis, let me drag and drop the sales amount. So here you can see that our chart is created. So for this example, let me create another chart by using slicer. Let me align the slicer now. So here under the field, let me drag and drop the region count. So here for the value for fields, let me drag and drop the region country name. So here you can see that the chart is created. So once I click on any country, for example Australia, here you can see that the product name according to the sales amount is changing. So now you know how this relationship works. Let's go to the model view again and destroy the relationship between the stores and geography. Let's delete it, like how we have done it previously. Click on S. Now you can see that the relationship between the stores and the geography table is destroyed. Now let's go to the report view and just check. So if you click on any of the country, for example France or Denmark or anything, you can see that the graph is static and it's not changing. This is because we have destroyed the relationship between the geography and the stores that you have already seen. So data modeling is that which works in the background to give a proper report to any organization or a company. So to conclude, data modeling in Power BI is critical for transforming raw data into actionable insights, establishing clear relationships, optimizing performance, and utilizing DAX measures, ensuring that your reports are both accurate and actionable. A well-designed data model not only improves the user experience, but also drives more informed, data-driven decisions. With that, we have come to an end to this data modeling and Power BI video. If you enjoyed it, please be kind enough to like it. And you can comment on any doubts and queries. We will reply to them as soon as possible. Do look up for more videos and playlists and subscribe to our Edureka's YouTube channel to learn more. Thank you for watching and happy learning.